Hello, my name is Dawne Huntly. The title of my paper is What I Always Knew. According to Thomas Jefferson, anything worth having is worth working hard for. I know this to be true because it took me 12 long, hard years to pursue my college dreams. I always knew that I would return to school after dropping out in the 10th grade. I just never knew when. The date was April 4th, 2016, and I was 38 years old with 4 children and a granddaughter on the way. A woman who lost her mother at 11 to cancer, and a father who turned to drugs her teenage life. I had something to prove to more than just myself. I'm now excited about going back to college and inspiring my children. Obtaining my bachelor's degree has always been a personal goal in order to gain financial stability, better life opportunities, and obtain personal growth. My first reason for coming back to school was for financial betterment. Growing up after my mother passed away was terribly hard. I would come home from school during some of the coldest months of the year, not knowing if my younger sister and I had electricity that evening. Sometimes we would have to wash our clothes by hand in the bathtub and hang them throughout the apartment doors just to dry. It was embarrassing that we didn't have the money to pay a bill or get clothes for Christmas or even birthdays. So I dropped out of school, started selling drugs to make money to help with the bills. My dad never knew how I got the money, but it didn't matter to him anyways. It hurt knowing that my dad would rather go get drugs with the money that my mother had left behind instead of paying the bills. My father was sick, and the drugs had taken the man that I knew to be my father away for a while. I always knew that he would be back. I was disappointed. I would think to myself that when I grow up, I would do whatever it took to make sure that my children wouldn't have to worry about the household income or family stability. Adult issues are not for children's concerns. Also, I came back to school for better life opportunities. I started working as an exotic dancer at the age of 21. I had already had my first daughter and son. She was about 3, and he was 2 years old. I would come home at 4, maybe 5 a.m. with hundreds of dollars, sometimes thousands, in one night. My nightlife was crazy, but my children never worried about coming home to no lights or no running water. One particular night I was working and a gentleman said to me, "Are you doing this to help pay for school?" I replied, "I'm doing this to keep my children comfortable." He stated, "If you want to do that, why not go to school and get your degree? I mean, you wouldn't have to do this and you could be at home with your kids at night." I thought about that every day until one evening I was getting ready for work and my daughter asked, "Mama, where do you go with that bag at night?" This was yet another embarrassing moment. I considered going to college. I had to stop and find another way. Lastly, I chose to come back to school for my own personal growth. Throughout all the challenges that my life has brought me, from losing my mom to dropping out of school to watching my dad become drug-free, I always knew that we deserved better. I just had to work hard for accomplishing my better. I went back to school, got my GED, General Education Diploma, and then continued my medical assistant certification. Doors began to open for me. For instance, working in internal medicine around positive and educated people made me want even more. At that moment, I knew that I had to work harder to prove to myself what I had always known. In order to have more, I needed to get further with my education. I walked through Strayer University doors on April 4th, 2016, to pursue my bachelor's in business with a concentration of healthcare management. The time had finally come to start what I always knew. I decided to enroll at Strayer University to gain financial stability, to find better life opportunities, and to inspire my children. It took me to want more for myself and others around me to understand the meaning of hard work. Lots of odds were stacked against me. A daughter with no guidance from her mother, young teenage mother herself, and an addicted father, drug addicted father. Now that I understand Anything worth having is working hard for. There is no stopping what I always knew.